Hi guys, as promised I would like to go through all the features of the Dreamframe as promised, so you can have a better picture what we have here. So here is the assemble frame, but I will go through all of the parts necessary to assemble it. So we have a base plate. This is a top plate that I call standard top plate, so you can run it as a standard frame with 30mm standoffs, or you can run it with 20 or 22 as a slammed version, and you can use this mount to get that slammed look. Also, when used with GoPro mount, you have one really sleek design. But let's go. This is actually the V2 plate. The V3 plate has the same cutouts as this standard top, but I have currently this split top on the quad installed, so it's same. So it goes like this with 30mm standoffs in front. You can use either 8 or 6mm standoffs in combination with bottom standoffs. In this case these are 22, or you can use shorter 20mm standoffs to get that drop deck. I actually prefer this drop deck because you can easily fit large variety of batteries. So this is really long. Better you can put it underneath the actual mount, so you can get it to work on this, or you can use the standard battery. Like this, so you get really compact design, and the battery when strapped correctly really doesn't move and doesn't get chopped by the props, because it's slightly stretched X design. So if you follow Bob's theory of disk unloading, there's nothing obstructing the props from, well, unloading, because it's really, the props are really far from the battery. Also in the front is the same because of its stretch X. So there's no problem there. I didn't experience no yaw issues or any kind of issues. It's really okay. So it's slightly above the prop line, slammed as much as possible to the center of the CG of the frame, and also forward. Well, yeah, but because the arms are actually raised a bit, the prop line is moved slightly higher. I think that's really a benefit of this design. So let's continue on this. These are the arms. This time CNC Madness actually made them 5.5mm. There are really nothing that can break this, and really it's unnecessary to go with this. I actually had 4.5mm arms on this one of the prototypes, early prototypes of the frame, and they were rock solid, no issues, really light. This frame's actually 98 grams as it is, so only thing that changed is the top plate. I done the split deck, and I went with 2mm bottom and top plate. These are 1.5, and I think for me it's okay, but for mass production I think 2mm is better. I had this strengthening piece up front and on top, so making this actually 3mm. When something impacts is usually from the front, and you have 3mm plates here and 3mm plate here, so it was really tough, no issues, really okay. I wish we could go with 4.5mm for the arms, so this is really not needed. I also, you saw this cross brace that actually goes over the arms and locks them together. I will actually show you how it goes together. One bolt. So we have only 5 bolts holding the arms together, and they go like this. It's really important to have these spacers in the middle, and you sorry. So you have arms that interlock, like this. So you have really strong section here, and that's not going anywhere. When you here's this piece I mentioned with the rubber soft mounts. You can use standard FC or 20 by 20 mil mounts. It's really soft mounted right here, so it's not needed to go soft mounted on FC or those rubber standoffs. So you can bolt the frame, the FC straight to this. So when you bolt, you have these nuts, screws in the rubber bobbins go into these cutouts of the arms. So there's nothing. Here's the assembled bottom plate with the arms, and this actually is really stiff. It's really, I don't know if you can see, you can't bend this at all. It has no flex whatsoever. So you have your soft mounts here that you can access without any problems through these holes Actually, I noticed that I forgot to include holes here for 20 millimeter mounting, but actually you can access the screws and tighten them down just through this bottom plate. This is also a great idea because the arms are really thick and you don't need to use these large bolts that are heavy. You can use aluminum or plastic bolts that are really short, and you can save weight with those. So this is it. For VTX mounting option, I have this piece that actually goes at the back and slots in here, so you can mount your VTX. And trust me, I had multiple crashes with those, and only thing, when they break, just replace this little CF piece and really leaves the top and bottom really undamaged. So had really zero issues with those. You can use 30 millimeter ones for standard top, or I have them in 20 and 22 millimeters for drop deck and slammed versions. So I think, oh, there's one more thing. I use TBS Unify VTXs, and for mounting options I have, don't know if you can see these two holes, and if you look, when you place the Unify, they align, so you can zip tie the VTX here and just run your pigtail to the VTX brace. Or for the VTX mounting, my friend Simon came up with this little 3D printed version that actually holds your XT60 and your SMA. So it looks like this. You simply secure the SMA via this nut, and antenna is really solid, and if you break something, if you hit something, you will break this back portion, and it's really cheap and easy to 3D print a bunch. And it's really convenient that you have your XT60 really firm and secure and not flopping around, and it actually secures the wires and it's not going anywhere. No flop, not going to hit any props or anything else. I have also this version I would like to show you. It's slightly tougher than the 3D printed one, but it's also made of carbon. It's actually extension for the top plate, and it houses this screw down XT60, and just this SMA mount remains 3D printed. in case you, as I mentioned, if you have a crash, you will break this and not any other part, and this is really easy and cheap to replace. I didn't actually flown with this because this 3D printed one works like a charm, so no issues whatsoever. Also, for the RX mounts, I prefer to use it on the front, because when you fly, there's always a visual line to the bottom of the quad. In whatever orientation, you always have the visual line to the bottom of the quad, unless if you have the antennas mounted backwards, when you fly directly, it's blocked by the CF or the battery of any kind of material that doesn't pass through your RF signal. So these front mounted ones are awesome. They have flex in case of crash. If they break, they are TPU, and it's simply to replace, and you have enough room for your RX here. So for the camera option, I already shown you this front mount. You have these cutouts, so the standard camera bracket that can always included with your camera simply slides on the bottom. It can slide forward and back, so you can adjust the tilt, or you can compensate for the length of the lens, so that that's nothing protruding on the front. Or you can simply use these 3D printed ones for the micro camera. I didn't find actually good enough these brackets, because when you fly at a larger, more tilt, so if you go crazy on the tilt, this portion on the camera actually hits this TPU mount, and you can go with large up tilt. So I made them with this little cutout, so you can achieve much more angle to your FPV cam. So I think we went through all you need to know, all the features of the frame. So I will do just one, so you can have a look. So that's Dreamframe.